Oh, look, Boo, it's Rogers TV. Come to see. Oh, I know who they've come to see. Mr. Mad. Come on in. Why did I get interested in music in the first place? Well, probably like a lot of people my age, it was the Beatles. I didn't really like what I heard on the radio before I heard the Beatles. Once I heard the Beatles, of course, that changed everything. And you couldn't find the records. You know, you had to have a record player too, even though my dad had a stereo. But I got this kid to write me the lyrics out to She Loves You and I Want to Hold Your Hand, and he sold it to me in an alleyway like, hey buddy, I got those lyrics, right? And I didn't have the record, so I would take the lyrics to I Want to Hold Your Hand and She Loves You, and I'd put them in the windowsill and I'd imagine what they sounded like, because I'd only heard them once or twice. I started as a singer. I wanted to be a singer, and trying to play harmonica with Rolling Stones records and the Beatles records, of course, and then the other guys that came along, like Eric Burdon and the Animals, who I later got a chance to play with, Eric Burdon. He had House of the Rising Sun. But one day the singer didn't come upstairs to do our little jam thing. We'd play along with records. So I tried the drums, because he had made this drum, and I tried it. And okay, I can do that. So my dad saw me drumming on the chair, and he said, you know what, instead of bringing home a guitar, I'll bring home some drums. So, you know, I've always wanted to be either Mick Jagger or Charlie Watts, I suppose. In the 70s, I had a band in the 70s, very creative band. I mean, we were you know, a accumulation of everything that was going on, everything from Yes and King Crimson and Hendrix and the Stones. Well, the guy in King Crimson, when I saw him, Bill Bruford, he had all this stuff around his drums, and he was playing percussion as well as playing the drums. So if you're fast, which is what we all had to be when we were drummers in the 60s, because all those drummers were really fast, if you were fast enough, you could actually hit this untuned percussion while you were playing. So the guys in the band started calling me the Mad Drummer. And then later on, that sort of changed into Mr. Mad, and then that sort of gives you a hat to wear, a persona. This is kind of like, I often think about it, it's kind of like an addiction or a sickness, but I mean, that's not really fair to call that it. It's more of your core, the person that you really are, right? If you were to take away all the aberrations of life and all the distractions and all the mundane things, the thing that we all looked forward to doing is performing. We all still do it because we're driven, especially a lot of us are type A personalities, and we are very driven. So it is like you know, drinking coffee or being addicted to, you know, whatever. It's something that all of us too, I mean, you know, I'm in a certain decade, and we've all started doing this as kids, you know, so you kind of grown into it. So it really becomes who and what you are at the core, like I said earlier.
Please welcome the host of the Mr. Mad television show and a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member, Mr. Mad.